Good evening, everyone. We are back with the thematic study, and today we are going to learn a very important topic, and it's modern day addictions. Uh, Normally, when we think about addictions, there are some pictures that comes to our mind, like normally like alcohol or cigarettes, something like that. But those things were out of our houses. It was not inside our houses. But now it's the time that we don't want to go out for addictions. It's all came inside our house. So we have gadgets, we have laptops and all those things, games and all those things. People are getting addicted to that. Not only getting addicted, they are getting depressed and a lot of emotional issues they have, and many suicides, many issues are happening. So I think this is a very relevant topic for this generation, especially during this corona period. Even children, they have to handle electronic gadgets because everything is through online classes, online, everything is through online. So it's a very important topic, not only for a particular age group, not only for youngsters, from children to even elderly people are struggling because of this. Many families are getting broken because of this addiction and all those things. So it's a topic that covers every age group. So I thank Billy Uncle for choosing this topic. And we have Sister Deborah from Vellore. She will lead us in opening prayer. Sister?
Yeah, yes, sir. Let's pray. Hope I'm audible.
Yes, you're audible.
Let's pray. Dear Lord, thank you for this time, Master. Lord, thank you for this wonderful time of fellowship. Lord, we thank you for the fellow brothers and sisters who have joined along with Billy Uncle, so that we'll be able to listen to your word, meditate on your word, Master. Lord, we commit today's theme into your hands. Lord, we pray that it will touch our souls and it will renew our spirits, Master. Lord, I commit each and every minute into your hands. Lord, we pray for the other participants who are yet to join. Lord, we pray that they will be able to join with us as soon as possible, Master. Lord, I commit each one of us into your hands. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Thank you, Sister. So before we go into the topic, I have a video to share. It's just a short video. So it will be covering the topic that we are going to learn today. So it's an outline. Just a minute. Okay, I hope you all can see the screen.
Yes, sir.
So this is just an outline and we will be discussing this topic.
Why do so many people on the planet right now medicate themselves? They medicate themselves with too much technology. They're medicating themselves in front of that white screen, checking the smartphone 110 times every day. That's not checking your technology. You know what that is? That's an addiction and an escape from what is. And if you said to most people, did you know you're addicted to your smartphone? Did you know you're addicted to your notifications? Addicted to your television? Did you know you're addicted to your excuses? Addicted to gossip? Did you know you're drinking too much alcohol because you're addicted to it? Did you know that this is all a flight from what is? Because deep down inside, the deepest unknown part of you knows that you're in pain over potential unlived. They would fight you to the death. Deep down inside, I believe most people on the planet are heartbroken. Why? Because they've betrayed the visions, ambitions, values, and mission in their heart. They betrayed their talent by buying into the mass hypnosis that the world has sold them. And they're 35, and they're 45 years old, and they're just, no, this is what everyone does. And they just check. For most people, their misery is derived by their inability to sit quietly in a room by themselves. Most of us are so distracted, they're so overstimulated, they're so interrupted, that they don't create the silent spaces where their genius can present to themselves. And just because 95% of the population does this, we think this is how we should live. And so I'm suggesting to you, the mass of humanity, the reason they're doing this, it's a flight from pain that's deep within their subconscious. And why are they in pain? Why do they need the medication of distraction? It's because they don't want to feel the pain. It's uncomfortable. It takes bravery to feel the pain. And all I'm suggesting to you is, if you have betrayed your potential, if you're not bringing it on, if you're not shining your light in the world, and if you're not standing in the highest expression of your fullest talents, you're not only doing a disservice to the world, you're growing the pain. Bring your potential and your light to the world. And if you're not doing that, your pain is going to grow. Your deep, hidden sorrow will grow. And you'll drink more alcohol. You'll do more drugs. You'll be more toxic in your workplace. You'll be more passive-aggressive or hateful. And if you're wondering why the world has so much hate, checking your notifications, looking at your email, looking at SMS, looking at pictures of people's breakfasts, it's an addiction. It's a dopamine addiction. Start the process of breaking your addiction to distraction today. If you look at most people on the planet, they're literally hooked to a white screen. They're wasting their human potential, hooked into some social platform that's creating empires for other people. Many people, if not most people, are now a form of artificial intelligence. They're not living their brain's potential, not living their physiological potential, not living their creative potential. They're not living their human potential. They're not living their economic potential. Why? Because they're hooked to a screen. Because most people are lost. Most people are hooked. Turn off your phones. Get serious about this. This is your life.
Thank you, everyone. And we are going to the session. Billion.
Yes, Alan. Vincent, you can see the screen.
Yes, see.
Alan, I really appreciate you for your thoughtfulness, and it has really set the tone ready. We are not talking about addictions. We are talking about the modern day addictions. And Alan has brought out in a right way. But even otherwise, we have to talk about addiction. Addiction is a disease. It's a complex disease that affects our thoughts and our behaviors. And it has a toll on our body, soul, and spirit. Soul is eternal, but the addictions even will affect our soul, not only body. Right? Dopamine, last week also we were talking about it. It catches our mind and it asks for more and more. And that will have more stuck up in addictions. The brain is very much affected because of little things, and we are careless, and it leads us to addiction. And compulsiveness, negative consequences of the brain functioning has really affected our whole life and our behavior. Friends, addiction is not only the 21st century problem. Though we have titled it as modern day addictions, we know that addiction is part and parcel of human life right from Genesis 3rd chapter. Before that, enjoyment. God said everything is good. If there is no Genesis 3rd chapter, mobile phone is good. Your internet is good. And everything is good. But Genesis 3rd chapter made everything bad, worst. And now we are in trouble. Look at Sodom and Gomorrah. In Genesis, we read, thousands years back it has happened. Two gentlemen cannot go to this town, Sodom. In a night time, they cannot stay. Even in a house, they cannot be a guest. Why? Do you think there are many girls? No. There are many boys. They won't allow them to be safe. When I saw the seriousness of this story, I feel that we are saying in a better days. In my place, Salem, two gentlemen can come and they can stay in the bus stand or railway station without any problem, like Sodom and Gomorrah. God hated Sodom and Gomorrah. Such a perverted society. So when we talk about sex-related matters, it is not only our time, even in Sodom and Gomorrah's time. And later we see that David's son, foolish boy, he got an idea that you become sick and ask your sister to come and rape her. Did it? Foolish boy, foolish. And we know the consequences. See, the sex addiction of various levels are in the history. But today we are not going to talk much about those things. We will take only few. I have selected only 3 to be focused. This particular verse, last week we looked at 1 Corinthians chapter 10. So the Corinthian church was a problematic church. And today we are going to read chapter 6, verse 12. You may say, I am allowed to do anything. But I reply, not everything is good for you. And even though I am allowed to do anything, I must not become a slave to anything. I cannot afford to be a slave to anything. And anything means it is not only smoking and drugs. As Alan said rightly, whenever we talk about addiction, we immediately remember smoking and drinking. He is a drunkard. He is a smoker. And I'm not. I'm a saint because I'm not smoking and I'm not drinking. Oh no, oh no. We have to be very careful. We cannot afford to become a slave to anything for that matter. And this portion of the scriptures, I was attracted. Romans chapter 13, verses 11 to 14. In the context of leading a good life and in the community, and under the authority, we have to be there. We are not animals, and we need to live as human beings. And there, Paul is concerned about our entertainments, our addictions. Look at this passage. I'm extremely happy that dear sister Grace Pavitra, a PG student from Punjab, basically from Andhra Pradesh, she's going to read the passage for us. Grace?
Uncle, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Praise the Lord, everyone. Scripture reading, Romans chapter 11th verse to 14th. You must do this because you know that the time has come for you to wake up from your sleep. For the moment when we will be saved is closer now than it was when we first believed. The night is nearly over. Day is almost here. Let us stop doing the things that belong to the dark, and let us take up weapons for fighting in the light. Let us conduct ourselves properly as people who live in the light of day. No orgies or drunkenness, joyful nature and satisfying its desires. Glory be to God.
Thank you, Grace. It is a powerful passage. Remember that I have taken this passage not to warn you that be careful because you're all addicted, or warning you. The last sentence, I'm very consciously making it. These words are spiritual dynamite. So those of us who are participating in this Bible study, make note of this passage. Help your family members, help your church members, help your members in the fellowship, and definitely your friends, those who are struggling. You can use this passage. That's the reason I have selected it. And by meditating this passage, by reading this passage, lives are transformed, addicteds are changed. Let me give just two simple but powerful examples. You know about Saint Augustine. People call him as Saint Augustine. Before his conversion, he was a rogue. He was addicted to things. Augustine was a big problematic boy. His mother was a godly mother praying, but Augustine was a hopeless fellow. By reading this passage, his life was transformed. He became a godly man by just reading this passage. Look at his history, it says. So, as you're ministering to people of addictions, help them, help them. Let me give an example from India, from my own place. There's a place called Madurai, a very strong religious place. But inside Madurai, there's a place called Pasumalai. There are some very good Christians are there. On those days, it's a small hill. And believing boys will go up and pray. Pray for the nations. Pray for missions. Pray for the boys who are very problematic in the church, in the down. And this gentleman was a rogue from a very good Christian background. His brother and his parents are very good Christians. But this particular boy is a rogue. And he will joke at the boys who are going and praying. And there they will go and pray by mentioning his name. Lord, save this man. God did a miracle when this boy saw in the road a bit of paper and he has taken it. That paper is a portion of the book of Romans, and the page is from this passage. He read this passage, his life was converted. My God. As he was reading this passage, he thought this passage is for me. Then he was really afraid. He made a commitment. Later, God transformed his life. He came out for ministry. And after that, he became the National General Secretary for Scripture Union. I'm talking about late Mr. Jnanaraja. Many of you have missed him. Great man of God, Jnanaraja. Children would love to meet him. Such a powerful testimony. This passage transformed Jnanaraja. If so, it's not only for you, and definitely for others, you have to use it. Three things quickly. The deeds of darkness. Addiction and any bad habit, it is in darkness. Now you say that even in the daytime, people are drinking. And I see that in some of the places where I go, we can see that even in the daytime, people go to the wine shop and then drink and then just fall. But Paul is right in saying, in nighttime, many of the evils are happening. It's not only physical terms, even in spiritual terms, the addiction is devilish, darkness, and in night. And Paul says, you walk in the children of light. That's what we are going to look at in Ephesians also. Walking in the light. So my dear brother and sister, if you have some challenges in terms of addiction or problem, just check. Can you do it openly? I'm struggling with smoking. Can I do it after the church service? No. I have to wait for the dark time. In the evenings, I'll be with my friends. There I smoke. Finished. Finished. Many deeds of darkness. And also, there are words mentioned here in this passage: drunkenness, debauchery, and divisions, jealousy. These are all the effects of bad behavior. It's because of the addictions. Sometimes we think that divisions, it's true. The behavior of bad people, they make that. Even jealousy. You may say that everybody has jealousy. No, devilish, and it has a big impact. In these days, that particular TV does not have this advertisement. Long back, I'm talking about 30 years back. You might have seen that, most of you have not seen that advertisement. The advertisement is like this: owner's pride and neighbor's envy. That's not advertisement. It is for a particular TV brand. Owner's pride and neighbor's envy. Normally, I say that either you may be a owner or a neighbor. So no problem at all. Either you have to be an owner or a neighbor. But other two words, I'm in real trouble. Owner's pride, neighbor's envy. My God, devilish, devilish. If I have my mobile phone, if I have a Nike shoe, if I have this particular bike, if I have this some other items in my hand, even this TV at home, I cannot have pride in saying that. Look at that. I have my iPad. I have my iPhone. I have such and such a bike model. My friend, you are not a Christian. Pride, owner's pride is wrong. Other thing is more dangerous. Neighbor's envy. I look at other man's house and I saw that there's a TV and I'm getting envy. Addiction. Every time I look at other girl and other boy and what they have and how they live, and I'm in trouble. I don't have, I cannot have, but my problem is envy. It is basically part of addiction. So that's what I'm talking about. Even there's a warning. It says the day is coming. It is not the second coming of the Lord. It is the day of the judgment. Even in Old Testament prophetical words, we read about it. The day is coming means don't wait for second coming. Even now, God's punishment will come upon us. That's a warning Paul is giving. Even in Thessalonican church, when he is talking about the second coming of the Lord, he talks about it, day and night. And daytime, people will be living a holy life and leading a good life. And people who are leading the things, they do it in night. So we have to be very, very careful. So that's what I'm saying. It is not only physical day and night, because some of us are working in the night duty, and night duty is you have to work for your earning. You have to work on night duty. So don't quote this verse and say that I won't have night duties. Oh no, not at all. And we need to be careful. But many of the evil things are happening in the nighttime, and we need to be very much alert. I told you that I'm going to talk about the modern day addictions, but I just checked in the Google, Christian and addictions. And one of the points, it mentions something like 10 top addictions. As I was going through, I was wondering whether I need to talk about it. Later, I felt I have to. I can easily go into the 3 important things. But let me share with you other addictions, because if I talk only about these 3 modern addictions, 90% of my participants here will say, praise the Lord, I am not in that category. But let me talk about the other 7 also. Let me start with coffee. Coffee. Without morning coffee, I cannot start the day. You are addicted. Gone case. Coffee and tea, especially coffee, it dopamine. It affects my mind. It asks for more. Coke. Some of us are crazy about Coke, like coffee, Coke, or tea, anything for that matter. Check your life. If you are addicted, you need God's grace. Tobacco, various ways. Smoking is a problem. Alcohol, and it's another tremendous problem. They started with very little and they feel it is good for health. Of course, it's true. It's good for health. But what happened? Instead of making our health good, it makes us a slave to alcohol. Many people are affected. And because of that, their children are affected. They're taught their wives to drink and wives are affected. And because of that, their children and grandchildren are affected. My God, alcohol, we know that. But government, they get money, crores of money. They say that if we'll stop tobacco and alcohol, our government will collapse. Some of the governments, they say like that. Very serious matter. That means addictions have come and we started enjoying it, and that may come. Without that, we cannot live, and government is getting money. Extremely bad. Sex addiction, I already talked with you about it. Various ways. I don't know what are the struggles you have in terms of sex. You need real help if you are really stuck up in one other way of sex addiction. It's very serious, very serious. And drugs and illegal drugs, they take injections, they take tablets, even prescription drugs also. Too much of using drugs. When I was a field staff of EU, I was just reading a newspaper, a secular magazine, not in Chennai or not in Coimbatore, a small center in Tamil Nadu. In the girls' hostel, 40% of them, I'm talking about 35 years back, 40% of the girls' hostel students are injecting themselves for drugs. If it is in Chennai, I can understand. City influenced, and girls who come from village and rural background and small towns, they have gone to the city and they were addicted to that. No, it is not Chennai or it's not Coimbatore. It's a small town. What a pathetic thing it is. I'm sure that if we'll give time for you to speak, I know in every state you will talk about it. One or other way, the drugs, how it is affecting the children, young people. Let's go on. Gambling, different types of gambling. Those days only playing cards and horse race, and now cricket, gambling. Just yesterday, I got a WhatsApp message. In Coimbatore, a person who is selling bananas or fruits, a street vendor, committed suicide. Why? He had a cricket gambling, and he lost lakhs of rupees. And he was telling his wife, I'm stuck up now. Later, gone. Yes, gone. Eternally gone. Not in gambling with playing cards, it's cricket. I only wish that BCCI and other organizations will hear about it. How many lives are going down like that? So gambling from different ways, people are crazy and stuck up. And internet and modern technology, we are going to talk about it. That's one of the major things. That's what Alan has brought out that video also. It's very useful, very important. And video games is another games. And as he said rightly, it has come inside the house. We don't need to go and buy something and then we are addicted. It's all here. By charging our mobile phones and charging our laptops, we can spoil our life. That's the way it is happening. That also we're going to talk about it. Ninth one, food. Food. I'm sure that none of you are addicted to some food, junk food, and anything for that matter. To be careful. I know I'm talking to the young people. Enjoy. If you like burger, please enjoy it. If you like ice creams, please enjoy it. Think of Genesis 2nd chapter. Don't think of Genesis 3rd chapter. If God has taken you to Eden Garden, definitely you will enjoy various varieties of ice creams. Enjoy it, enjoy it. But don't be addicted to any food. That is Genesis 3rd chapter. These days, people are crazy about food. And they waste money, they waste their time, they waste their energy, they waste everything because of food. Be careful. And last one, but it's not the least, but it's a very important thing, workaholism. Work, work, work. Even evangelicals, we need to be careful about it. We are involving in work and it become addicted to that. And we cannot think of anything. Work, work, work. Workaholism also a serious addiction. And you need to be very careful. You need to enjoy your work because God as a worker. God, in Genesis 2nd chapter, we see that God is worker. But in 3rd chapter, we see that man has spoiled his attitude towards work and become a workaholic, and sweating and all sorts of evil has come. We need to be very careful. We cannot be an workaholic. 10 years back when I was in Kotagiri, Highfield, I got this book. And 3 important things: sex and work, and one more thing. He's talking about like smoking, alcohol. That person has written on these 3 topics. That was a old book. It is not a modern day alcohol, modern day addictions. These 3 things, as I was reading, I was surprised about this work, that particular chapter. He says, you may not be addicted to tobacco or alcohol. You may be addicted to work. You may not be addicted in sex-related matters. You can be addicted to work. I was challenged by that book. Right. Let's look at some quickly. Let's look at the root cause for addiction. First and foremost is peer pressure. And I'm happy that my leaders are working hard in bringing out very good introduction, and they are with me. And they're right in saying it is for all age groups. As you know that I'm growing with my 4-year-old great man, my grandson. And he has his addiction with my own mobile phone. He is so smarter than me using that smartphone. I cannot go into that some of the games, but the way in which he goes into the games, my wife and myself, like that only will be looking at him. Right. And he can innocently do it. But as people are growing, innocently they're caught up. No peer pressure. It's not that he's learning from others. Like that, young boys and girls, they are not influenced by others, but innocently they are caught and going. Chronic stress, very true, very true. And as we hear rightly, this lockdown period, tremendous chronic stress, and people are addicted in various ways. I'm thankful to God for your participation in the Bible study. I'm thankful to God for your active participation in the church ministries. Thank God. Otherwise, some of our friends are addicted to various things, including evangelicals, including Christian workers. Right. Climatic condition. I'm in a hill station. I have to drink. Then only my body will be, there'll be heat in my body. That's the way they say. Long back when I went to Andamans, they were telling in islands, there are some addictions because we are not exposed to many things. So we are addicted to that. So there are geographical locations, climatic conditions also, people say. But it's not that you have to have smoking or alcohol as you are in hill station. There are many believers I know that none of them have touched the alcohol or smoking, though they were living in hill station. So I'm not saying that because you're hill station, you have to drink. And in Western countries, they say that it's cold climate, so we are using alcohol. We have to be very, very careful. And other things also matters, especially family related matters also is a matter of concern. And problematic addictive behaviors, that's also we have to quickly say. When you look at people, old people, young people, and you can read their mind, and you can see that the way in which they say lie, the way in which cunningly they take money, because they need money to recharge their phones, or they need more money to buy. Without that drug, they cannot live. Pathetic. So they're ready to do anything for lying and stealing, and they're utterly confused with their managing time. This one I'm talking for young people. See, in IITs, in medical colleges, in engineering colleges, brilliant people. Till they in the school, they were brilliant. They got a very good mark and they got admission in such a premier institutions. After going there, somebody told them that you need to have relaxed mind and you just enjoy some time. And they started involving in a wrong ways. And after that, they became addicts. We hear many stories like that. They end up with their suicide. Their parents may not know that. The parents are proud in saying that my son has gone to the such and such premier institution, such a beautiful college. He got such and such good mark in the school final. All sorts of happy things they say, but they do not know. Like this boy, there are many, many in the lovely institutions with a very good course, they were gone. And they're not in a position to manage their time at all. And they get physical and mental illness. That's how we are going to talk about, and manipulation and things like that. These are some of the behaviors we can talk about. Now, let me quickly share with you 3 important aspects before I close. Number 1, effects of internet addiction. I'm very happy. I didn't see this video. Alan has brought out. Now, very clearly, very plainly put it. Only the thing is, the pictures are Western pictures. If they would have taken in with Alan and Vinci, pictures like that, then we can relate it's India. Only thing is, their skin color is different. Otherwise, plain for all of us, it's a big warning. I don't know, my friend, are you struggling with internet addictions? You are not, but your own family members, your church members, your fellowship members, your good friends are stuck up. And you know that what sort of syndrome they're having physically and what are the struggles they undergo. And emotionally, the way in which they live with their spouse, with the children, and with their parents, with their good friends. Tremendous, tremendous bad impact on their life is there because of the internet addictions. Likes and crazy about spending too much time. They think they are smart. And statistics says, that's what it is mentioned there, 95% of them wanted to be like that. And if 95% of them are doing, that may be good. I'm sure that everybody will agree with me. If you go and sit in a bus stand, or you go and sit in the railway station and look around, I have seen not 95, 98% of them will have the phone. Even if they don't have a smartphone, they'll be looking at the touch phone, because everybody is using the smartphone, and let me have it like that. I have seen sometimes in the compartment, I can just go around for bathroom both the sides, and then I can find out 98%, confidently I can say, phone, and laptop everywhere. And Christian workers, my God, they feel that they're smart. We go to a conference and everybody has an iPad, everybody has a laptop, and everybody has a phone. Don't be carried away. Don't be carried away. Games, we talked about it. It was completely time gone, and then every aspect of it is affected, and we are caught up with wrong company of people, and our life become unproductive, completely like a person who is paralyzed, literally paralyzed. People who are paralyzed, they cannot take their hands and legs down, and these people who are caught up with these games, they are also like that, completely unproductive, and ultimately their life has gone. My friends, they start with a simple video games, but later they became addicted. And PUBG, I was excited to see this expansion. Player unknown battleground. My God, it's a game, but if only my young friends will know that PG means battleground. Foolishly, they are like Goliath. They think they're really great, and little boys like David comes and throw them out. It is an unknown battleground. Very sad. And sometimes back we heard much about blue whale. My friends, it is a very disturbing thing. Last week I got another WhatsApp message. So disturbing. 6th standard girl in a place called Villupuram. Most of you may not know what is that. It is in Tamil Nadu. It's not a city. Villupuram, very near to Chennai. A 6th standard girl committed suicide because of the games. Not even a teenage girl. A newspaper article says, parents checked. They found out this girl is addicted to games. And when they checked, she committed suicide. 6th standard girl in a small town in Tamil Nadu. My God, how much we are responsible to save the people. And we have a tremendous work. The third one is music and media. The people, some of the singers, some of the dancers, artists. Last week we were talking about celebrities. That's what I'm talking about. Music and media. And they became idols. We worship them. Without them, we cannot go eat. Without them, we cannot go to bed. They are just caught up in our mind. It may be music, or it may be dance, or it may be anything for that matter. Ultimately, we are end up in devilish, and our whole life purpose is gone. Again, I'm saying this video has really helped us to know our vision and our purpose, the purpose of our life has completely gone because of the addiction. Let me finish with this last point. Let me take just 1 minute. There are many points we can talk about handling addictions. First of all, I believe that self-esteem is very, very important. Many people are affected because of the poor self-esteem. And many of us do not know our limit and boundaries. In a very simple way, we start and then held up. Small beginnings, we have to be very careful. I clearly remember when I was a college student, some of my friends came and said, Billy, you're going to start smoking. Don't start with ordinary Wills smoke. Get the international brand. We'll get it from the market. We'll give it to you. First smoke should be an international cigarette. Thank God that I didn't touch that smoking. My brothers and sisters, that's the way. First one should be smart. And then you are addicted. And bad companies. One more point I want to tell you, we have to have good mentors. There are, in these days, we talk much about mentors. I want to tell you about an accountable partner. If you are struggling with one particular area, you need to have one brother for brothers, one sister for sisters, who is an accountable partner. You can go and tell her, you can go and tell him everything. Yesterday night, I was stuck up like that. And that's a problem. Do you have an accountable partner? I'm not talking about mentor in terms of in a broad sense, an accountable partner. You may be addicted in some things. You have to be careful. Let me finish with this one thought. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13 says, when you are falling into temptation, God is faithful and God will guide you to help. God will help you to come out. But verse 12 says, those who say that I stand strong, they have to be careful that you may not fall. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 12. So it is a message for all of us, to me and to you. So we may say that, oh, I'm not addicted. I'm very strong. 1 Corinthians 10, 12 says, if you say that you are strong, be careful. At any time, you may fall. As you are helping others to come out of the addictions, you may fall. So you have to have proper disciplines. May the Lord help each one of us to be very alert and also to help others. Next week, God willing, we are going to look at a very different topic on materialism. Over to Alan and Vinci. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So you gave an overview, and not only just explaining what are the addictions and all those things, you just gave some tips and ideas. I know everyone here have some suggestions to say and many experiences. So it's the time to discuss. You can come up with your questions and you can give your suggestions. And if you have some great suggestions in you, maybe your personal experience that through this way I have overcome this addiction, you can share this. Vinci, do you have something?
Oh, yes. So I know that our friends have questions to share.
Okay.
So if I do, yeah. Nancy, yeah.
Uncle, can you hear me?
Yes,
Nancy,
yes,
1
yes.
minute. That's right. 1 minute. Nancy, I'll come back to you. There is, in the chat box, there is one question. Is it okay to exhibit my talents through social media? For example, photography, painting, etc. Very good question. Last week also we were discussing about it. Is it okay to post pictures on social media as long as it has no bad intuitions or have not affected thus far? Very good, Akash. I really appreciate you for asking. Many wanted to ask this question you asked. Right, good. We have to be careful. Our motive is very important. You can start in a very simple way saying that it's all for the glory of God. Some people are mentioning about words and then pictures like that. And nicely, Akash put paintings and photographs. And within me, myself is pushing. So whatever I do, I want to see that people will give more likes and appreciate me. At least they may not call me and say, but let them give a thumbs up. So Akash, you have to be very careful. Your motive matters. But at the same time, nothing wrong. If you are talented and if you are smart, and some of the powerful photographs are there in the social media, many meaningful ones. So nothing wrong in that. In the Tamil class, there was an expert came from Chennai to talk about it. And there, when the question was asked, he said like that, if you cannot control your laptop and your internet and your mobile phone, be careful. You say that I'm putting Bible verses, I'm putting nice pictures, but you begin with 15 minutes. Then you wanted to see other photos. You wanted to see others, how they are putting the Bible verses. And it takes 1 year, one hour. And ultimately, you are held up with addictions. So we have to be very careful, Akash. And if you don't have bad intentions, nothing wrong in posting pictures. Don't expect people to be excited or more likes should come and things like that. Thank you.
Okay,
Nancy?
thank you, Uncle. Thank you so much.
Yes, Nancy.
Uncle, can you hear me, Uncle?
Yes, Nancy.
Uncle, my question is, the modern day addiction also includes the people who get addicted to another people. Like one person gets addicted to another person. For example, a person may say that he is my friend, he is my soulmate, he is my brother from another mother, so and so sayings, and they get addicted to that person. For particularly when they are in a problem or such a tangled situation, they automatically their thought won't go to their family or their close friends. They'll the thought will go to that one particular person who will do anything for that person and will expect something in return in some or the other way, but they won't realize it in that moment. But few people will get out of that addiction.
but few will not have the situations or they won't realize it till the end. So how can we help them, uncle?
Thank you, Nancy, for asking. Actually, the third point I titled like that only. People are, we are addicted to people. Then later I felt music and media should also should be prominent. So I brought that idea. People are there as idol worshippers, they are coming. But Nancy is bringing one more dimension of people. They are not celebrities. Your soulmates. And evangelicals, hear that. We say that our fellowship, I have my mentor. And like that, we have to be very, very careful. Nancy brought it the right way. And we are caught up. And it becomes an addict. Without that brother or without that soulmate or without that person, I cannot live. I don't have any purpose of living. I don't have any objective of my life. That's very dangerous. So we have to tell them, Nancy, Christ alone should be your. Later, we are going to talk about husband and wife relationship, later part, not near future, but later. Very true. I'm going to talk about it. You have to love your wife. You have to love your husband, but not more than Christ. Not more than Christ. If so, how much with your soulmate, with your friend? So bring them back to the basic that Jesus is my supreme love. And if they have supreme love towards Jesus, and this point can be handled. Number two, in the points I mentioned as a ninth point, I'm very thankful to my brothers and sisters who helped me to prepare this PPT. And the ninth point says, use your mind. Find out what are the impact, what are the implications of it. Don't simply cover up. And when you do that, naturally, this aspect also will be taken care. Nancy, that's what I'm saying. You have to help such brother or sister who is caught up with one individual as a person, then they need to reason out. And because of that, what will happen to my future? What will happen to my relationship with God? What will happen to my family members? And what about my witnessing life? And if you can start thinking of it, what's going to happen to my soulmate? Little later, you're going to get married, or you're going to ship your place, and your soulmate will miss you, and he or she is going to commit suicide. You are the person cause for it. And if he or she is going to have a bad family life, you are the cause for it. Think all these points, then you will go slow down. That's the ninth point. That's what it says. How to handle this addictions. You reason out, you think about it more than imagination. I think of that person, imagine, and reduce that imagination. Think, reason out. That will really help you.
Thank you, uncle.
Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Do you have any questions or any experience?
Uncle, hello.
Yes,
Yes,
Lavanya.
sister. Yes, sister Lavanya.
Uncle, I have a question. Nowadays, dressing, about dressing, will you say anything, Uncle? Generally, college students are more, we need to follow the modern trends and all the things are going on. Regarding that, can you give, Uncle?
Thank you, Lavanya. It's a big, very big problem. Dress code is there. And as we are talking about social media, that's also a problem. Like, I want to show myself. And dress is basically to cover my body. And but now dress has become my idol. Dress is my identity. When I go to the campus like this, nobody will respect me. So I need to have different dress code. And that leads me to all sorts of evil ways. And then I want to show myself. Basically, the first point in the list, self-esteem. I feel that if you have a proper self-esteem, you will not have nasty dress code. That's the way I look at it. Yeah, I'm a bit critical, but I'm very strong in saying that. If you have a proper self-esteem, people have to respect you, not because of you have a fancy dress. It's because of your beauty, or it's because of your handsomeness God has given you. But Lamanya, you are very right in saying that people are addicted to dress, and the way in which they spend money on that, it is so crazy. That's very bad. Thank you.
Thank you, uncle.
Thank you, sister. Thank you everyone for that questions. I think it's going to be 9 o'clock, so we can end the session. We have Weslin with us from Tamil Nadu. He will lead us in closing prayer. Weslin?
I know. Am I audible?
Yes. Yes, you are audible. Thank you.
Prayer. Dear loving Heavenly Father, we will thank you for the beginning with us throughout this Bible study, Lord. Thank you for your presence has been in this place from the start until the big end. Lord, we leave this place. Let us go out there and be certain with light. Lord, help us to practice in our life what we discussed and learned, and help us to make a difference in the world for the glory of your name. In Jesus' name, we believe and pray. Amen.
Thank you everyone. Thank you for
Thank
joining.
you.